Welcome to your magical moon message. It's your boy, the peace dealer, dealing that peace, whether chaotically, peacefully, or whatever the F. It is moon in Aries, sun in Cancer, 10th house, closing square. Woo! I am only referencing this because, believe it or not, it's relevant. It's relevant. If you go back to my past YouTube videos, when Saturn was in Capricorn, what did I say? And you'll see, if you go back to my YouTube, a lot of stuff that I've said earlier happens. I said protect Cancer. Before I said protect Leo at all costs, I said y'all better protect Cancer because they're coming for Cancer. They're distracting people with drama and they're picking Cancers off one by one. Do you want to know the people we lost while Saturn was in Capricorn with Pluto? Saturn was opposite Pop Smoke's son. He died. Chadwick Boseman, he died. And Bill Cosby. Let's talk about it. Bill Cosby, study his chart. He has Saturn in Aries, Aries rising. He has Pluto on his sun. He has Neptune on his moon. Where's Pluto? Opposite his sun. Where's Neptune? Opposite his moon. This is smear campaign energy. And so it's not a coincidence that the moon going over his Saturn of karma in his first house is where we're starting to see news about him being free. And if you hear about what his legal team said, he had never, ever admitted to non-consensually raping women, spiking women's drinks. All of the stuff you heard on the news was a lie. It was all fabricated. It was all smear campaigning. And the reason why I'm saying that is, does that sound familiar? I'm not trying to really make any point with him as much as I want to show how what's been happening to him has been happening to you, which has been happening with a lot of stuff. And the reason why I'm referencing this is about last week, I told you that you're going to start to see a whole lot overturn. We saw this verdict overturn. Don't be surprised if the election gets overturned. It's about to be a wild summer, baby. Okay, so keep that in mind because we have the audits and then someone went on a rally, Trump, and now he has his social media profile. If you don't know this is about to be the summer of petty, if you don't know like everything is about to switch, let me actually break it down. What happened last summer? We had a whole narrative battle between a collective arguing over how people should respond to authority. This is not random. This is actually science. This happened around when? Spring, summer. What happens summer? The sun enters Cancer, and what does it start to oppose throughout the whole summer? In Cancer, it opposes Pluto. In Leo, it opposes Aquarius, where Saturn is now. And of course, in Virgo, it opposes Neptune. This is why where it gets established during Aquarius season, Capricorn, Aquarius, and Pisces season, we're coming around this again. And it's going to be so much more intense because now people are going to see what's not adding up. And they're already hitting people with this Delta variant. So what am I saying? Why am I saying this? I'm saying that to say this. The moon is in Aries now. We're coming into the new moon in Cancer by the end of the week, coming into the 9th, next Friday actually. And this is going to challenge you with this square, how you're going to integrate new power, new identification with your power, a new understanding of your identity with this deeper awareness of who you are at a soul level. And once again, the reason why I want to really use Bill Cosby as an example is so many fucking idiots who had absolutely nothing to do with the case. All they did was they basically saw a bunch of people cry crocodile tears on the news. The only way that they knew about this was social media. That's it. They're not really there for real. Invested all sorts of real feelings and emotions, demonizing a man they've never, ever met. Okay, who was innocent and never proven guilty. Okay, so I'm only using this because he's not alone in this. How many other people have been ostracized? How many more people have to be falsely accused of shit they're not doing? How much more deception has to happen before people actually get it? And here's the thing. The misleading thing about the question is a lot of people already do get it, but are their voices being censored or are they selecting who gets heard? Well, all of this is getting blown out the water because the moon in Aries in this closing square is challenging what you have harvested. That full moon in Capricorn harvested your superpowers. You transformed by learning the knowledge of your power with the moon in Aquarius. You ascended with the moon in Pisces, gaining a divine completion and understanding of the meaning and reasoning why you feel how you feel. And now you're taking action with that in Aries, where you're newly going to define your character, coming into the balsamic phase that will change how you fundamentally, through the Gemini 12th house aspect to Cancer Sun, think about what you feel. Damn it, I have to be a Gemini because I can really just go off the tongue and just point stuff together. Shout out to Virgo. So here's the thing. Be very, very, very mindful about how you receive criticism from others, because Chiron is in Aries and the moon is in Aries, and this is going to be squaring Pluto. You have to be okay with the fact that you're leveling up, you're growing, and the part of you that people used to recognize, they may not recognize because you're leveling up. And, you know, not to just focus on that specifically, but if you're receiving a lot more pressure, subtle psychic vibration, in a cognitive dissonance being projected from others because the way you're changing makes them feel uncomfortable, you need to inversely proportionately take what you're feeling and feel that as progress, okay? Because growth is uncomfortable, just like a root growing out of the branch coming out into air. You're going to come into stunning breakthroughs, and that has a lot to do because Aries has been winning. Aries as a vibration has come through a whole lot. This is you as an individual and how you identify yourself. And I don't mean in the pseudo-intellectual way that people have been taught to identify as what they're not. And we already know what I'm talking about when I say that. So the moon in Aries is going to really, really, really heal and bring up vulnerabilities around what you're still not ready to accept about your identity. Some of you accept it on a superficial level, but you're not connecting at that core Cancer level where you feel it. Okay. And this is going to help you feel it. All right. And this is where you have to be okay with acting, and not just acting, feeling the authenticity to champion. Since the moon is in the 10th house, you're gaining receptivity to where this aspect of your sincerity in Cancer is defining your legacy. And so you're going to champion this aspect of your identity. And the thing with Aries is Aries doesn't need anybody else to confirm who Aries is but Aries. So like, you don't need other people to confirm you are who you are. Most people will probably doubt it. You don't have time to waste. You need to manifest the Taurus path that is unique that you're carving. And it's after you step those steps and create those footprints that people can look at your legacy and what you've done. They're not going to look at how you've argued with people and proven how you were right that you are who you are. They're going to look at what you've done and be able for your own actions to speak for itself. And so a double cardinal day like this, let your actions speak for itself. Moon is trining Venus and Mars. In Leo, you're going to get an opening to really express creative passion, whether through your talents, whether romantically. Okay, when this opening comes, be willing to take the risk outside of your comfort zone and manifest this sense of authentic passion so that you can create what you want to create, because you're in a weird way interfacing with resistance for what you want to create, which is opening up in an odd way more of what you want by embracing that resistance, by embracing that other perception that may not agree with how you see things. Instead of shutting down, actually embracing that tension can open up so much more energy. But Aries is warrior energy, man. Moon in Aries especially is going to make you receptive to new ways to move forward what you're understanding about who you are and about how deeply you feel into who you are. Now, on an unrelated note, you want to also be aware of, because you've been advancing psychically, and I mean, every single moon transit is an addition to your psychic development. This is going to, one, show you how much more powerful you've grown, and two, pretty much string you into a series of paranormal and unconventional events that may start uncomfortable, turn exhilarating, be very weird, then turn back to uncomfortable, then be very comfortable, then be uncomfortable again, bring mad cringe, and then break you through completely into newly defined superpowers. Emphasis on cringe, because if you can't embrace your insecurities and awkwardness, are you even woke? But outside of that, this is even cooler because it's going to help you establish the autonomy in your relationship between other people's opinions. You know damn well you don't need to respond to other people's opinions, but you have an ego, and your ego doesn't want to take shit from people. Your ego feels the need to respond and make itself feel like it got the last word, or like it's established itself. You don't need any of that. You need to allow people to play themselves and stand in integrity. That's it. Integrity speaks. There's not a single thing you have to say. Your actions will speak for itself. And once again, first of all, given this news that's come out, this is not news worthy of celebrating. This isn't this isn't good news. This isn't celebratory news. This is just basically more of, insight at the failure of the justice system and the irresponsibility of mainstream media. And we're going to see more of this catch up with itself. Because now, by the time we get to Virgo season, it'll be the first quincunx closing that we have to Saturn in Aquarius. And it is the people socially that will come together and pull receipts, show that things don't add up. And for those of you who've been fighting a good fight, a lot of things with what you see with the pandemic, with the stolen election, a lot of the psychology was to burn y'all out. And with false narratives, give you the impression that there's no reason to keep moving. You're a sore loser. Why are you still doing this? And a lot of people gave up when the fight just started. So if you're still having this mindset where, when is this going to be over? When are we going to win? We already won because we already won. What you need to understand is that you're pioneering a revolutionary thought that isn't meant to be towards an agenda, but is solely based on you, being authentic, being real in a place where people are giving into false narratives and false voices. You will not know the one or two people who, because you're the light being real, actually change their mind. It's not even about that. It's about being yourself. And so you are going to individually with others socially at a collective level see a lot of these narratives start to flip. And when you do, it's not random. I want to let you know it's not random. We're now finally at a place where, coming into Leo, all this energy is opening squaring Uranus and Taurus and putting in check that authority. It's the sun in its dignity in Leo that's going to put in check the authority of Saturn retrograding. And so you're going to see grassroots and independence movements blow up. Okay, this is so very important, because over the next couple of days, a lot of explosive, dramatic, fiery backlash to what's been happening in every single context for any news story is going to reveal the true characters of people. And with Chiron on the moon, they might be bleeding so vulnerably they don't realize it. So make sure integrity walks, and be very, very, very mindful about what spirit and the universe is revealing to you about the secrets of your identity. Because a lot of you think you're powerful, but you're way more powerful than you even realize. And you have to be okay with changing who you think you are so that you can align with something much better. Okay. And you may have to be okay with, letting go with who you think you are so that you can tap into someone who is so much more legendary, you. And this is even more important because, this is going to prepare us for the moon in Taurus, where we're going to manifest our wishes and dreams come true and a sense of unconventional belonging. So it is what it is. Anyone who has an issue with you energetically, directly or indirectly, let their integrity lead them. You don't have to waste time with people who have no integrity, who are bothering you. They're playing themselves. But personally, you want to reward yourself for leveling up the way you've leveled up, for working on yourself the way you've worked on yourself. The third quarter square is a completion of the harvest of the full moon. And so where we harvested superpowers, this is going to be the Aries activation of said power that you're going to manifest in Taurus and change the way you think about yourself coming into the full moon in Cancer. This isn't going to happen for people who haven't done any work. I'm not even going to say spiritual work inside themselves, shadow work, instead of spiritually bypassing. So remember, Mars is in Leo. Don't back down. Don't back down to false narratives. Don't back down for the truth. Spit your game. Talk your shit. Be in your heart. Let courage lead. Godspeed.